You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. It's 70 Mount Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Arches. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up and let's go. There's a moment in which recovery is impossible, where a chain reaction of small disasters are set off that then mushroom into a tragedy. Maybe he'd been reminding himself about what could happen, or maybe he's realizing something that's already happened. Why does it feel like he's already past that point? The point where he made a decision at a literal fork that set in motion a cascade of failures. There's no reason for him to feel that way, considering they're minutes away from leaving, but it feels hopeless now. He ignored all the signs and he turned right. Ignored all the signs. Just like all those officials who ignored signs from their departments, stores, bridges, dams, and spaceships. At least until everything fell apart. Time passes quickly, and bantering with Artie and Devon had made Cameron forget what he was trying to do in the first place. He wonders if maybe that had been Devon's goal. He should be keeping his mind open, not covering up potential spirits with loud, obnoxious laughs as they reminisce about their college days. Because... I don't know what this cat is doing. Because right now he's feeling something. Something strange that he can't explain. Alright, ready to head out? Man, we didn't even find anything scary. You don't look for scary things, you let them happen, and nothing happened, so... Cameron can't leave now. Hey, Dev, please don't be mad at me. Dev doesn't say anything, and that makes Cameron squirm. Oh, are you guys gonna fight again? Can I have 5 minutes alone, please? No. Just 5 minutes, I swear we'll be done. Cameron? I can feel something, I don't know what, but you guys are making it hard to hear. Cameron, the motel is right there, I'm not leaving you here. Dev's tone is so resolute, so unshaken that Cameron shrinks into himself, realizing he's reached Dev's limit. Artie clears his throat. Not to butt in, but how about this? Me and Dev stand at the end of the road over there so we can see you, and then we can make sure nothing bad happens. Please, Dev, I just really need to figure something out, and it's gonna bother me forever if I don't. Please? Dev is clearly taken aback by Cameron's intensity, which had been Cameron's intention. Something is wrong, and he needs to confirm it. Is what you're doing safe? Could it hurt you? I don't know. I don't think so. It has more to do with me than ghosts, though. Dev doesn't say anything for several seconds, seeming to be weighing multiple scenarios in his head. Okay, we'll be up the road. Please be careful and yell if you need us. Okay, thank you. Dev kisses Cameron on the head for a long moment before walking away up the road. Artie looks back and forth, confused before following Dev. Alone now, Cameron can tell that something is definitely different. He can't put his finger on it, but it's not just him being residually high. It's almost like he can see more clearly. Like he can see more. Meaning nothing. Cameron isn't sure what to think about this. The weed is making it happen, though, just like he hoped it would, but it's weak. He can hear the voices of those who have passed, just barely playing along the wind. For just a fraction of a second, he thinks of trying opioids just once more, and how that would truly help him see things. The thought leaves him feeling physically repulsed to the point that he almost retches, the visceral reaction surprising even him. 3 years of substance abuse, the death of his mother, and the deaths of his friends. He vividly remembers those 2 weeks when he quit cold turkey, hiding away in his friend's basement, a pool of sweat, shaking every bathroom issue possible, wanting to rip through his fur and skin, to run into the street and run into a car. He cried constantly. He hated himself. He was worthless. He needed to die. He had to die. But at the end of those 2 weeks, he'd made it. It was hard, but like his friends would always tell him, withdrawals aren't the hard part. The hard part is finding pills in a friend, a relative's medicine cabinet, months, even years later. The hard part is crushing those pills up in neat little lines of powder, staring at them and telling yourself you don't need it. You don't have to do it. But you do it. You always do it. No matter how many times you get clean. Someone like Cameron needed something else to keep him clean. And that's Devon. Oh, goodness. Because the shame and heartache of Devon finding out would never be worth it. But knowing this moment, any moment, can be far better with a single pill. Unfortunately, that feeling will always be there. So no, this is stupid. And he won't touch drugs again, not even weed. The window. At first, Cameron is only surprised. This is something he hasn't seen in months, not since October of last year. But still, he kind of hoped this would happen. This creature, this manifestation is somehow connected to his abilities. He'd always thought it to be a mental illness. But now that he knows there's something more to all this, maybe it's a sign, a harbinger of sorts that might lead him to important visions. Still, something about it is especially unsettling this time. Something is wrong. Something is different. And it's more than just the raincoat monster appearing. Arches and half circles. His train of thought cuts off as he notices a barely discernible movement from the creature. Aside from a handful of moments in the past that felt like glitches more than anything else, the creature never moved. It was always like a cardboard cutout. It's no longer cardboard, though. It's breathing. What's happening? He's not thinking right. This thing isn't part of Echo. Cameron knows that. So why is it acting different, more alive, as if the town is amplifying it? Maybe it's just the setting, his nerves, the weed. But now he's realizing how strange it is that he's been so relieved to find out he's psychic. Doesn't he still have problems? It's not like all those issues were just solved. Are those the voices of the dead, or something else? Are those ghosts, or hallucinations? Is there a difference? Suddenly, a whole new wave of anxiety washes over the canine. Just like that, he's not sure about anything anymore. He'd had such a beautiful, life-changing epiphany, and now he looks up the road toward where Dev and Artie are, but they're not there, and Cameron stares, wondering what's real anymore. He looks back at the monster standing in that window. If it is a harbinger for something important, he should go into that room. Otherwise, he'll just leave here knowing he's crazy, knowing he's on the verge of a fucking psychotic break. Oh, damn it. Damn it. What am I doing? And then he's moving for the window, for that monster. The whispers growing and the distortions twisting. Devin watches his boyfriend in the distance carefully, feeling his anxiety come down a bit as Cameron just seems to stand there. So, what's the deal, man? You know what I'm talking about. What happened? Did he see some fucked up shit earlier? Because you seem really, really worried. For a moment, Devin is glad Artie cuts himself off, but then... Hey, what the fuck? Ah! Artie is already running up the road toward his car. Devin looks and sees a man sitting next to the car, the hood up. Devin isn't sure what to do at first, either go to Cameron or follow Artie. Cameron seems oblivious in the distance, which is probably for the best, and it doesn't look like the man is carrying any sort of weapon, so deciding his friend is going to need help, he runs after Artie. Dev runs up to the car just as the old weasel-looking man headbutts Artie in the face. Ah, fuck, son of a bitch! Artie stumbles and falls on his ass. Hey! The weasel regards him coolly, seemingly not bothered by the fact that he just used his own face as a battering ram. Hey! Dev doesn't know what to say, mostly because he doesn't know why the guy just did what he did. Meanwhile, Artie groans on the ground, a paw to his forehead. That at least gives Dev a starting point. You can't just fucking do that, man! What are you doing? Adjusting things. He shows off a pair of pliers. Devin can hear his heart pounding in his ears as he sees a toolbox balanced on the bumper. Why? Give me that... Devin starts to step forward to take the pliers from the man, but a flash of light blinds him. Oh! Devin had never been hit before, not as an adult at least. His size usually deterred anyone from trying anything, and he normally didn't get into those kinds of situations anyway. So this moment takes what feels like a long time for his brain to process. He stumbles on his feet, paws uselessly outstretched, trying to refocus when something explodes in his stomach that seems to expand like a balloon under his ribcage. The bear doubles over in shock, feeling like a vacuum has opened up in his torso before he falls to his knees. Ah! The long, strained sound of agony seems to go on forever as his diaphragm refuses to work. Only now does he realize he'd been punched in the stomach as well. Always had the wind knocked out of him before. It's nothing like this. How's that, fat ass? Dev goes on droning in response, a small part of him considering that he might actually suffocate to death. Holy hell, man, what the fuck is your problem? Oh, you want to know? Devin, still with his face toward the ground, only hears movement above him, but that's followed by a gasp from Artie. Whoa! I have a problem with the sick fucks like you two dicking around in this place because you think it's funny. Dev is only now starting to get his breath back, but his eyes are locked on the gun in his face, and his insides turn to water, which has nothing to do with a punch. Where were you 5 years ago, huh? Back home with Mommy and Daddy living in your middle-class houses? Thought you'd come out and see what crazy meth heads are up to, how they all killed each other? The man adjusts his grip on the gun, and Dev almost chokes with fear. Either the old man is going to shoot him, or he's going to do it on accident. Is this still fun? Artie's rough breathing next to Devin is the only thing that lets the bear know that the cat is still there with him. Dude, listen, we didn't mean... You listen, dude. I gave you assholes a whole fucking day to get the fuck out, but you're still here. Since you're so goddamn comfortable, I hope you don't mind being stuck here for good. With that, the man turns away, sticking his gun down his pants before calmly collecting his tools, closing the toolbox and walking off the road straight through the sagebrush. Holy shit! It's a 9-mile walk to the freeway. Suggest you leave the moment it gets cool. And that's friendly advice. There's much worse out here than me, you stupid fucks. Artie bends over Devin, who slowly stumbles to his feet, hunched over, his stomach aching for far worse than his muzzle, which he wipes clean of blood. Fuck, man, what did he do? Artie looks back to the car, and even from here, Dev can see wiring sticking out from the hood. I can't fucking believe this! Hang on, I'm getting Cam. Alright, man, I'll see if this thing is even worth coming back for. Devin jogs up the road, grunting with each step, each one sending a jolt through his stomach. While the weasel hadn't moved in this direction, Dev isn't taking chances. He also needs to make sure the coyote is... Cameron? He shouldn't be panicking. Not yet, but that feeling is starting up again. And after having a gun pointed in his face, Cameron! No answer. Dev heaves for air, looking around until he sees a flash of flannel through a motel window. He's next to it in a second, unable to fit, so he pries back boards with his bare paws. Then he pushes through and tumbles into thick darkness. Despite having seen this monster in some form or another over 15 years now, Cameron realizes he's never really tried to move towards it. In the beginning, he tried to run away, of course, but it ended up following him. It never moved when he was looking at it, but the second he looked away and back again, it would reappear closer, usually at that 20 to 30 foot distance. When he learned to ignore it, it just sort of blended into the background, and he almost stopped noticing it. As Cameron squeezes through the boards covering the window, he's only a few feet away from the thing. He realizes that if he makes contact with it, that if it's solid, then he won't know what to think. But, you know. He never even considered that it might be real. But now, as those unnaturally long claws dangle from the sleeves of the raincoat, Cameron starts to worry. As he moves those last few feet, the raincoat monster starts to dissolve into the dim lighting of the room, and the coyote is inside. It happens in a way that makes Cameron think of a mirage. But the creature is still here, now across the room against the wall, its ever-present deranged grin plastered to its dark furred face. Cameron moves towards it again, slowly this time, the creature still seemingly frozen, but in a way a real person would try to appear frozen. This creature is almost like an imitation of the one he's gotten to know so well, the one that almost became a companion of sorts in his childhood. About halfway across the dark, cluttered room, Raincoat Monster bends sideways, almost like it's going to do a cartwheel toward the bathroom door. Its heavily clawed hands don't move, though, and instead it just keeps bending like a bridge, like an arch. And then it slips into the darkness of the bathroom. Cameron stares, the feeling of unease growing. Of course shit like this always makes him feel uneasy. It makes him feel fucking crazy. But what happened just now? It felt deliberate, like he's being toyed with somehow. Raincoat Monster had toyed with him plenty of times before, especially the first time he saw it. It was his own mind doing it, after all. But what makes him feel nervous now is that it seems like there's something else behind it. Almost like whatever was behind his first vision in that other motel room is behind this as well. So we should leave, right? Whatever that is doesn't seem to have very good intentions. All it seems to want to do is fuck with him. If it is the same thing that hijacked his first vision, then it could look like anything. It disguised itself as Dev and said awful things to him. Disguised itself. Was that even a disguise? Is it possible Devin somehow made that call? That would be the most plausible explanation, aside from malicious ghosts being real, something he never believed until now. He trusts Dev, though. Cameron looks at the boarded window. Why did Artie and Devin abandon him like this? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to have a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Katie Silverman. Thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 3 gold tier patrons, Zeke, Toby, and Blue Wolf Alpha. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if you want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!